Hey everybody, welcome to my replay crew, because I know everybody's busy and sometimes you just can't make it to a live. Excuse all my equipment up here, we've just got to get that done. Let me look on my phone so that I can see if we have anybody coming. I mean, in case anybody does come in, we have some. Live now. Here we go. So, all right, we are live. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I hope that you can. Today we are going to paint some Halloween motifs. I've got a cute little ghost. I've got some candy corn and some bats against a nice bright yellow moon. And it's going to be simple. I'm going to show you how to draw it too. Now, let me get through some housekeeping stuff. I'm doing this on Friday this week. The reason I'm doing it on Friday is because I was planning to do it on Wednesday. Our heater broke down. I mean, it's as old as our house. Our house is an old house. It's almost original to the house. It broke down. We had to get the whole thing redone. So once we got it redone, that was on Wednesday. Those poor little fellows were here from 9 to 6 trying to change them out and get all the ductwork done and the different stuff that they had to do. So I couldn't do it on Wednesday because my dogs barked all day long. So we're going to do it on Friday this week. Next week it'll be a watercolor Wednesday, so I'm going to do it on Wednesday. I haven't decided about the time, but I'm going to do it sometime at midday. It'll be out before. This one was just kind of... a lot of stuff happened to me, so I didn't get the opportunity to let y'all know about it way ahead of time. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so let me tell you what I have here. I'm going to use my Cotmans. Yeah, I'll show you the box that it came in. It's just a little Skechers pocket set. And it has all of the, it has 13 colors, and it has a cool and a warm of each one. So I want to try to use it because it's just basic colors. Anybody can do this. And the first thing I'm going to do, this is what we're going to be doing. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my ruler. I'm going to just do a straight line so that I can kind of line these up. Just do my little straight line. And I am going to, first let's just draw our little ghost. Make him have sort of a little ruffly bottom. And then we want his little hands holding his pumpkin. And a few little folds in the fabric. Let's do his little eyes. And a little pumpkin in his hand. And some little feet hanging down like he's floating. All right, there is our little ghost. Let's draw some candy corn. Candy corn is easy. We're just going to draw some triangles. And then just draw some lines to separate the colors. You can make them go any direction you want, your little triangles. I happen to like candy corn, but there are a lot of people that hate it. But I like candy corn. I mean, it's nothing but sugar. Who cannot? Sugar and coloring. How can you not like sugar? So those are just some little triangles. And then for the bats, we're just going to draw a circle. You can use something to draw the circle if you want to. I'm just freehanding it, and then let's draw some bats near it. Oh, I don't like their wings. I'm going to erase those. And I have some 140-pound watercolor paper here. It's just a leftover piece from a project. Let's do our little bat. And let's do another one like going right across the moon, the silhouette of the moon. And then maybe one out here, just sort of hanging around. I don't like that wing. It was too lumpy looking. Too lumpy looking. So let's see. Let's do it this way. I'll just make his little body. The little body come down in like a little V. And his head. That's good enough. Everybody can tell that's a bat. Hold on, I am going to have to do something with this because I don't have everything up here that I want. Just my window. There we go. All right. So there, simple to draw. Hopefully you can see it pretty well. And you can take a kneaded eraser and sort of roll over that to pick up some of the excess graphite. Since I was a little heavy-handed, you can do that. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to work on this little ghost. So this kit, this little Sketchers kit also comes with this little brush, and it has a cover. I don't like to use the cover because it messes up the thing, but it has a little brush and it has a cover. I'm not going to mess it up. So we'll start off using it just to see how it goes. Now I'm just going to take some of this brown here and a little bit of this, I want to call it ultramarine blue, and make sort of a darker color, sort of like a black, but it's a sort of a grayish color, and I want it to be a little bit toward the blue side, so I'm just adding a little bit of blue, extra blue, and then I'm just going to go around my little ghost, just outline him with this sort of grayish blue color. And I'm going to come back with clear water and blend that out a little bit so that there's not a hard edge going inside on the inside part of the ghost. We want it to be sort of soft. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully. If not, don't know what to tell you. So we're just going to go ahead and come right down the edge, and then with some clean water just blend that out. Also want to get the folds in there and go around his little arms. This little ghost has some little arms. And just blend that out a little bit so that it looks soft. And if you want to blend those edges even further, you can just go ahead and take some water and just blend it out. So then we're going to let that dry. We're going to work on some other ones while we're letting that dry. Let's go ahead and work on the candy corn. So what we're going to do with the candy corn, the end here is sort of a golden yellow. So I'm going to come in here and get this golden yellow. Let me see what color this says it is. It is cadmium yellow. That's what it is. It's a little cadmium yellow. It's kind of a golden color. And I've got it in a sort of a thick mix here. And I'm going to go right on the edge of each side, right onto dry paper. And then of course I'm going to wet my brush, get some of that paint out so that it's just clear water. And then I'm just going to blend that toward the center. And you want it to be highlighted in the center and darker on the edges. That's what we're going for. So if you need to, dry your brush off on your paper towel a little bit and then just pick up some of that in the center to really make a nice highlight. And then we're going to work on the rest of them with the same cadmium yellow. We're going right on the outside edges, straight onto dry paper with a creamy mix. Then we are getting our brush, cleaning it off, and just taking clean water and sort of blending it across, drying our brush off so that it's just barely damp, and picking up some in the center. Now this isn't dark enough on the edges for me, so I'm going to come back in there and just drop in some color while it's still wet right on the edges. There we go. Same way with this one. And just sort of blend it out to that center. I think I want a little bit more here on the ends. There we go. My sisters used to take me Halloweening because I was so much younger than them, so they would take me. And it was quite the experience when I was little. And then our old neighborhood, we had the best neighbors. They would go all out. One of them, they would have like this Halloween spooky just theme. They would have like a butcher shop in their yard, and they built all these props. They would have the guillotine, and it was just, oh, every year it was something different, and it was always amazing. But in this little sleepy neighborhood that I live in now, not so much. All right, so now we are going to work on the orange section, and I've gotten some orange, and I just mixed it right into that yellow that was already on my palette. We're going to do the same method. Straight onto dry paper, take some clean water, and then just blend it toward the center. And leave that center a little bit lighter so that it's a little highlight down the center there. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more orange to the edges here while it's still wet. Let that blend in. You can hear my little bird. It's Dorian Gray. He is cheering us on. And just put a little bit while it's still wet right on the edges to darken it up. There we go. A little bit of clean water just to blend that out. Then lift up some of it with your brush. Dry your brush off onto your paper towel, then just lift some up. I'll come back and add just a little bit more here. Some little bit of darker tone right on the edges so that it gives it a little bit of three-dimensional look. All right, now this should be dry, so and we have our orange out, so let's go ahead and start working on the pumpkin. And I think I'm going to go straight into my color here so it's really thick, and just do that edge. I'm going to clean my brush and get some clean water and just wet the rest of that section. And then I'm going to come into, I think, this brighter yellow here. I'm just going to drop some of that in, and then get some of the orange and drop some of that in. And we're going to do the same thing to each section. And it's okay if they bleed together just a little bit. It's okay. We're not going for perfection here. I'm going to pick up some of that yellow, drop it in. And then we are going to do the next little bit. Here we go. Same way. My daughter is coming home from college this weekend, and her boyfriend's going to come with her. And she has requested that I go buy some pumpkins, because every year when my children, my son and my daughter were growing up, we would have a pumpkin carving contest. All right, so you want to let that dry. You can go ahead. I'm going to, instead of using paint, I'm going to use a black micron pen. This is a size 2 to do those eyes. And I'm just going to, and I think I'm going to leave a little highlight in there. And they would carve pumpkins, and then we would put them on Facebook, and our friends and family would vote on who did the best, and it would be a blind vote. Nobody would know who did what pumpkin. And my kids had great fun. Well, it turns out her boyfriend, their family didn't do stuff like that. He's never carved a pumpkin. So that's what we are going to do this weekend. We are going to carve pumpkins and have a pumpkin carving contest. Oh, let me get his little feet. Go ahead and get his feet in there. I didn't paint those before, so we're just going to do the same method. Just sort of outline them with the color and then blend it with clean water. And then eventually, though, my son he felt like he got too old, so he stopped competing with us. I mean, he is quite a bit. He's 7 years older than my daughter, so, you know, he was too cool for school. All right, we'll let that dry. Now we're going to work on our little bats and their moon. I'm going to wet the moon. I'm going to be careful to go around the shape of the bat that's going across the moon. With just some clean water. We're going to wet it. We're going to do a little wet on wet moon. And I'm going to come with this really bright yellow, and it is actually a lemon yellow hue. I'm going to drop that into that moon. All right. And I'm going to take some of this orange that we had for the pumpkins and I'm just going to drop some of that in there while it's still wet and make it sort of look like the craters of the moon a little bit. You know how the moon has those shapes, and if you look at it just right, sometimes it looks like there's a man on the moon or a man in the moon. But we're not going to make a face. We're just going to do some craters while it's still wet. And then we're going to let that moon dry a little bit. We're going to come back with another layer. Now for the ends of the candy corn, it's white. I'm going to go ahead and erase the pencil marks so that they're not so dark through that white. I can still see them, but I don't want them to show through my gray. So what I'm going to do is just take the same gray that we used for the little ghost. I'm just going to come around just so that it separates this space from the background, since the background is also white. Just put a little bit right here on the edges, and of course pick up that center part. And do the same thing with this one. And I'm just going to pull up some of that paint going right down the center, just to try to give it a little bit of a highlight there. There we go. So that it's darker on the edges, just like the yellow and the orange section. There we go. Looking good. Just blend it out with some clean water. Easy peasy. And just pick it up in some of this in the center. Now while we're doing that, we're going to mix some more of this darker color with the brown and the blue. For our bats, we want some darker colored bats. And that brown is burnt umber and the blue is indeed ultramarine blue. I thought it was. I don't have a black in this set, so we are going to mix our own dark. But I like this little travel kit. It's really good for beginner artists because it has a warm and a cool of each of the primary colors, so you can use the split primary color theory with it and learn you can just about mix any color you want when you have a warm and a cool. Plus it has the earth tones and the white, which I probably wouldn't use a white, and it has two greens already mixed, some pre-mixed greens for you. So this is a good little kit to start off with. It was under $30. I don't know. I can leave a link for it if y'all are interested. I'll leave a link in the comments to it. Alright, so we've got our little dark mixed again. That was just using burnt umber and a little bit of ultramarine. And we are going to trace around our bats just like we traced around our other subjects. Straight onto dry paper. And then we are going to blend that out as well. The only thing about this little brush is it doesn't hold a ton of water. So by the time I get back in there, the paint is a little bit dry on the paper. It's not blending as well, but that's okay. There we go. That's looking better. Just add a little bit more of that color in there. I want his middle part to be really dark, so I'm just dropping some more color right where his head and body would be, so that it's going to be extra dark there. We can do another layer if we need to. I think I'm going to just go ahead and do his head and body really dark on this one. There we go. And then just outline his wings. And just take some clean water. My brush wasn't clean, but just get some clean water and sort of blend that. Add a little bit more here and there. Do the same thing on the other wing. Shoop, 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 shoop. You got to make these noises when you paint, guys. Shoop. Shoop, shoop. I mean, doesn't everybody do that? That's what I do. Keeps me in line. I entertain myself while I'm painting. I make up little stories about my little characters that I'm painting. For instance, these little bats, they are looking for a new home. They have been evicted from their haunted house. Frankenstein is tired of all their guano being in the attic, so they are being evicted and looking for a new residence. That little ghost, he's trying to decorate his house for Halloween. He's got his little pumpkin. He went to the farmer's market. I'm going to do this one a little bit more solid since it's against that bright moon. So I'm actually going to fill him in more. I think I want to make him pointy here at his body too. Just point him, make him a little bit pointy. Of course, as your bat, you can do it however you want to. However you want to. Let me fix his ears. They're looking a little funky there. Now I'm going to come back in this other one and just maybe make some lines. That's actually bats' fingers. That's their fingers that are on their wings. That's not their arms. Those are actually their fingers that hold their wings open. And I'm going to get some of this orange and a little bit of this really golden yellow, this cadmium yellow, to make sort of a darker orangish color. And then we are going to go over this moon in some spots. Try not to hit that wet wing. Let a little bit of the yellow shine through so that it just gives a little bit more dimension. Trying not to hit that black that's still wet so that it doesn't bleed. Now get a little green and put a little green stem on our little ghost's pumpkin. Oh, he's so cute. Get some of that darker green and put a little bit more of that in there just to give it some pizzazz. And I think I'm going to take a little bit more orange down the side of this now that it's dry. Just a little bit. And a little bit more of that golden yellow too. Just down the sides, just to darken it up some. Now if you want to, you can take your pen and do more to your bats. I'll make sure they're, since my little lines didn't show, you can just add some lines. Go around. And that gives them just a little bit more definition. And there you go. You've got some cute little ghosts. So I hope you enjoyed this short little demonstration. I hope you give it a try. You can put these on, gift tags, or you can make cards out of them, whatever you want to do. I mean, not all together, but you could use them as a whole theme, or you can use them individually. It's up to you. I know Halloween is on Monday, but there's always next year. So join me next Wednesday, and we're going to do this again. It'll be something probably Thanksgiving themed, since Thanksgiving's right around the corner now. All right, I will see you Wednesday for Watercolor Wednesday. Bye, y'all. Happy painting.